Okay, this is a very quick video I'm making tonight, and it's in response to a question which was raised on one of my videos, and it's regarding the GWR County Class 440 Locomotive County Cornwall R125. You can see the box there, and really what happens on these locomotives is that there can be a problem with the tender, or at least the mechanism that's inside the tender of this. This is a tender powered locomotive actually from Hornby. Now what the question was how do you get the tender top off, which is a very reasonable question, and of course a lot of you will already know the answer to that question, but what I would always say to that is, well, if people don't know, they don't know. Now, what Hornby actually did here was, even though they gave an instruction sheet stamped R125, it's a very general instruction sheet. And in fact, what this one does here, if you have a look at the picture just over the top, just there, it implies that you've got a slot to remove the tender top with a screwdriver, and that is sometimes possible. Sometimes they left a slot for you to get the screwdriver in, and you can lever that up, and if you do that carefully without damaging the plastic. But this one don't appear to have the same thing on it. Now what I found was, it's got if you look there carefully, it's got no slot there, and where they imply there's a slot here, there don't appear to be a slot. I don't see how, I don't know how well lit that is for you. Let me see if I can bring some extra additional lighting round. Right, okay, so we can see there is no slot. I mean, that one slot down there isn't the slot for it, and that one there isn't either. Now with this one, what I did is if you grip the bottom part with the chassis part where the wheels are, and then give it a quick tug, it should come off usually, and in fact it does. You see what I've done? I've just pulled it off easily with my hands, and then it just clicks back on again like so. Okay, so that's how I do it. This is on R125, okay, where there don't appear to be any kind of slots on there. So again, you grip by the chassis, and eventually it will give in and come off. Okay, now for some of you might find that the tender top is stuck, and I should just put this back together again on it to demonstrate. Okay, so now no slots. The only way I can think of, if you got real trouble getting the top off from the tender, is to get a very thin bladed screwdriver. I've got a jeweler's screwdriver set like this. That's very handy. You can buy this quite cheap actually, very often in pound shops and stuff. And sometimes you might have to get the screwdriver in the joint between the tender and the tender top and bottom, and give it a twist. I don't want to do that because it could damage the plastic. Okay, I don't want to cause any damage to this particular model. Yeah, I've managed to get the screwdriver into the gap between the tender chassis and the body, But here we are. So now I can lift off like this. You see that clearly? And the tender top just falls off. But there is a danger of damaging the plastic, in which I have actually done that here now. Okay, I can bend that back into position. But that is one of the reasons why I don't like leaving this off by that method. But you can get a screwdriver in that joint right here. There, you see the joint there. You can see where I've bent the plastic a little bit. You can do it that way if you're desperate. But like I say, just to recap, I hold it by the wheels down here and give it a twist. It should give in eventually. Famous last word. There we go. So it does come off if you give it a good twist. Now, we're doing a bit of a recap on these particular tender models. This 440 County of Cornwall. What I had to do originally, I mean, I'll refer to my previous video on this, but if you've got a model that's not going anywhere, so the motor's spinning furiously, but the locomotive's not going anywhere, is that cog just here? This big brass cog in the middle, you can see me pointing towards it now, there. That comes off the spindle a little bit, it comes loose sometimes, especially when there's like it looks like more of an aluminium grey coloured cog. But you can replace these with brass cogs, okay? You can replace these with brass cogs. In my previous video, you'll look back on that, you can see how I managed to press this on. You need to find a way of pressing the cog onto the shaft. The old one was so loose I put it off my hands anyway. But I was able to replace that cog there. And you need to carefully count the number of teeth that's on that cog there to check it's the right one for your model. Okay, and it's quite easy to count the teeth. There. Now another tip as well with this is that if you get a lot of screeching, okay, you're going with an R1 noise, is because a lot of people would forget to put a little drop of oil down behind that cog there, because the spindle goes through there onto the cog. You need to put some oil around the back of that cog, okay, and that will should quiet the motor down. What a lot of people do is they'll put a little drop of oil on the spindle this end. You can see the spindle here, okay, forgetting you need to put a drop of oil on there. I mean, a lot of people will find if they put enough oil on the cog, it's going to drop down the back anyway. But a little drop of oil down the back of there, and that will eliminate any squeaking. Okay, but I do have a more thorough video on this. Already on my channel. Okay, so that's the question actually that was raised. Okay, how do you remove the tender top on the R125 County of Cornwall? While we're there, let's have a quick look at the loco. It won't be handheld. I'm doing this. My camera is actually on a stand. That's a lovely County of Cornwall there. Lovely cab detail there. Look at that, beautiful. Look at that. Really nice locomotive. This. It's tender powered, okay. You can get a railroad version of this, and they're great, but you don't get the amount of decoration like on there. You get the lovely lining on the wheel cylinders there and everything. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll wrap things up there then, and just to close things off, I'm going to pop the tender top back on. There we are, so it just clips on. Okay, so I did that off camera, but he just presses back on again, there's no problem there. Okay, so that's how you remove the tender top. And we'll leave things there. Okay, so thank you very, very much for watching. If you found that useful, please like and subscribe. And if you've got any other queries, please add queries if you wish in the comments. And obviously if you've got any comments to make, please do so. And I wish you farewell and good night.